Great evening, it's Patrick here. Welcome to Dollar Theater. Dollar Theater is an ongoing series started by a good friend Hobbs from Hobbs Horror, in which we watch and review films that we've gotten for $1.25 or less. So, trying to figure out what to review today. Well, we decided that we were going to go ahead and check out an old classic, something very, very fun from 1999. We thought we'd talk a little bit about Mystery Men. So, Mystery Men was directed by Kinka Osher, a French director. This was his only film that he directed, his full-length film that he ever directed. He was a prolific commercial director. I mean, he was the creme de la creme of commercials. You wanted your product sold, you got Usha. Kinka Usher. So the film stars a whole cast of people led by Ben Stiller, Hank Azaria, Claire Forlini, Janine Garofalo, Eddie Izzard, Greg Kinnear, William H. Macy, Cal Mitchell, Lena Olin, Paul Rubens, Oscar winner Geoffrey Rush, Ben Stiller, and Wes Studi, along with Tom Waits. So it basically is it's a spin. It's inspired by another comic book called The Flaming Carrot. And the character was Flaming Carrot, and he and his mystery men, they went all across the country, with their subpar powers, if they had any powers, and they tried to do the best to help people out. They didn't do Flaming Carrot in the Mystery Men. They did go with the idea of the Mystery Men being based in Champion City, and basically they were a bunch of wannabes. They wanted to be superheroes, but unfortunately for them, they really don't have any powers at all. Ben Stiller plays Mr. Furious, who supposedly hulks up, but can't, and he can't finish a sentence, put down. You have Hank Azaria as the Blue Raja with no blue in his costume, and the only thing he can throw is forks. Can't throw knives because he doesn't want to hurt anybody. And then you have William H. Macy as the Shoveler, probably the most powerful of the three, because he has a shovel. But they go ahead and they try to do their best. And we see the movie opens up, and they're taking on a gang, and they get their ass whipped. But then Champion City's real champion shows up, Captain Amazing, and Captain Amazing looks like a walking product placement billboard. And he quickly takes care of things really quick. And as he's leaving the crime scene, we find out that basically Captain Amazing has been so good at his job that there's nobody left for him to fight. All the supervillains that he has, pretty much, except for a couple, they're all dead or they're locked up. But Casanova Frankenstein was a good villain, and Captain Macy has an idea. Then we go back and follow our crew of three, and they're embarrassed out of their scene, and they go to a diner to lick their wounds, so to speak, and they just figure out they need to do something more than what they're doing. They're not, they're being mocked at, they're being laughed at. Captain Amazing, he's saying, keep up the good work, wink, wink. So he's poking fun at him as too. And so Mr. Furious wants to take it to the next level, get powers somehow. So as they're figuring that out, we see Casanova Frankenstein, played by Geoffrey Rush. He's come up with this really weird machine idea, and while he's been locked up in the insane asylum, but it doesn't look like he's going to get out to use it, as they're going to go ahead and not deny him his parole. When all of a sudden billionaire Lance Hunt aka Captain Amazing. You wouldn't know it's Captain Amazing because Lance Hunt wears glasses and Captain Amazing doesn't, which is a very, very subtle, not so subtle poke at Superman, for sure. Well, he decides he's going to go out and spring Casanova out so he can have somebody to fight against, so he can keep all his endorsements. So he says, I'm going to get you out. We're going to stage a crazy scene. You're going to do take over the world madness, and then I'm going to come in and take over, and then, so keep Champion City on his toes. Well, that's not going to work for Casanova Frankenstein this time. He's got a plan, and his plan involves, Captain Amazing not being around. So he captures him, even though Captain Amazing knows all his tricks, or so he thinks, and he gets stopped. So he's captured, and our mystery man, Mr. Furious, he discovers that they have kidnapped Captain Amazing. So he and his crew, they try to break in, and they have no success. So they go back and they say, hey, we need to get more help, so let's hold a tryout, see if we can find some real other superheroes. They do. The usual expected antics happen. There's nobody there that they could take seriously, except for one. Actually, to tell you the truth, there's actually three that end up having real powers. The spleen. Yeah, the spleen had real powers. And the bowler, played by Jenny Garofalo, she had a psychic connection with her dead father, whose skull rested in a bowling ball, hence the bowler. And we also have Invisible Boy, who initially doesn't look like he has any powers either, but during a key scene he transitions and he really does has a power. The Sphinx, we don't know. Even though he saves the mystery man from a close call, we don't know if he's really a superhero, but good Lord, he's a walking cliche. So they're recruiting superheroes. They only keep the bowler. They have Invisible Boy, and they have the spleen already. They managed to work their way onto the team. And then when they get captured, when they take on Casanova Frankenstein, they scrape up his car. It's a really funny scene. They scrape up his car, then they run. Casanova Frankenstein finds them and looks like he's going to kill them all. And when all of a sudden the Sphinx shows up. And while we don't know exactly how powerful he is, but we do know that he is a walking cliche. He looks like a new age speaker. Back in the late 90s, we had new age speakers that would get up there and you pay them thousands of dollars and they just spout off cliches. And that's what the Sphinx did. The Sphinx just, whatever you can think of cliche wise, he was going to be spouting it. But we really don't know how strong he really is, because he does have some ability. We just don't see it, other than the one time. So now they got their new team together. They go ahead and they build and they go ahead and they try to go ahead and rescue Captain Amazing. But because of his own arrogance, he gets himself killed by bullying the team. They're trying to help him out, and he's telling them how to free him, but instead of cool and calmly doing it, he's arrogant, and he's rude, and he's a bully, and nobody's going to be sorry to see him go. So Captain Amazing is not so Captain Amazing anymore. And, of course, they have to retreat once again, because they kill Captain Amazing, and Casanova Frankenstein is going to, his whole team's in the house. And so they take out again, but this time they realize that even though they failed in their mission to save Captain Amazing, they have to go back because Casanova Frankenstein's machine is going to come online, the same one that killed Captain Amazing, so they have to come up with an idea to stop that. So back to the training we go, and they build their suits up, and they realize they're gonna have some firepower. So they contact Dr. Heller, who is a creator of all non-lethal weapons, and so he helps them put together costumes and new weapons, and they find a battle wagon that Mr. Furious was supposed to be taken apart. Dr. Heller says, "Well, hell, you got that." So, of course, this is all happening very, very quickly. The time frame in this movie is not to be. I mean, you don't even know really what time it is or how many days have gone by since they've gone to the Casanova Frankenstein and the machine. It seems like it's going to happen. They have like a half hour to stop it. Yeah, for some reason, it takes them like 4 days to get there. It's sort of confusing, to tell you the truth, the timeline. But they end up putting it together. Of course, Mr. Furious is having he's a little bit bummed out because he's lost the leadership of the team. Everybody has really good ideas, and he really doesn't. He really doesn't have any powers. The girls he's trying to impress like him, but doesn't like the idea he has to be Mr. Furious all the time. And she even tells him that he's not scary. And it's only when he relaxes and tells her that his name's Roy, and he also realizes too that he's not he's a wannabe. he doesn't have any powers at all. But he goes back to help the team out, and then we find out all sorts of interesting things during that last battle. Things that realize that maybe there's something to this team at the end. Maybe they're not quite so powerless as they think they are. And so as they stop one of the most dastardly villains ever in Champion City's history. This, on the surface, is a fun movie. I mean, wow, superheroes. I think the only thing that was wrong with this movie, as far a reason why it didn't do so well, it was made for $68 million. It only came back with 33. It was simply ahead of its time. At 1999, we already had we had Blade, we had Spawn, and soon to get Spider-Man. There just wasn't any, we had Batman and Batman Returns, but, by the time the Mystery Men came out, the Batman series is already going downhill. It might have been the lack of recognition, like no one knew who Carrot Man was or the Mystery Man was. It was from a small alternative comic, so that could have been played into it as well. Like, who are the Mystery Men? Today, I think if this movie was made, it would be looked at like Invincible or The Boys. Yes, those are niche comics, but they have massive fan bases because everybody likes a good superhero, as long as you're different. And Mystery Men definitely was different. I mean, it's hilarious, for one thing. It plays against all the tropes of a traditional superhero movie. They don't have any hero, they don't have any powers, but they're gonna try. And in doing so, they eventually do become heroes. But I think the biggest thing that hurt this movie more than anything else was the fact that it just came out too soon. I do believe, like I said, I think if it came out today, or if it came out maybe 10 years ago, I think it would have did very, very well. If it would have came out as a TV show today, if they went ahead and made it today, they would do it as a limited TV series, maybe 10 episodes or whatever, or look at it like at The Boys, and I think it would do pretty good. The cast is actually outstanding. You can't go wrong with the cast. I mean, Ben Stiller, Hank Azaria, of course, you know him from the Simpsons. Kel Mitchell from Kenan and Kel, who did a really nice job as Invisible Boy. The late Paul Reubens was really endearing as the Spleen. Of course, the director Kika Usher had mentioned that William H. Macy was basically a dream to work with. I mean, and you see him, and William Macy says how he practiced twirling the shovel. He even banged up himself. He wanted to do it right. And the thing is, though, even though they know they're in a comedy, they know what they're doing is silly. They give it all their all. They do try. Including Geoffrey Rush, who I think really steals the movie. Geoffrey Rush steals this movie as Casanova Frankenstein. He is absolutely hilarious in this movie. And one of my favorite scenes is where he tells the gang to go into the disco room, and he throws the post from Saturday Night Fever. Makes me laugh every single time. I can see that thing 30 times. It's going to crack me up. But I liked him. I liked him a lot. He played a really fun villain. And of course, there's one thing they do to this movie that it's like, man, they gotta get break out of that, even if it's just a joke. They always kill their villain. Don't kill your villain. Keep your villain because he's fun to have around. Why do you think the Joker hasn't died after all these years? Because he's fun. The Green Goblin in the comics, he's not dead because he's fun. But I thought this was very, very stylish, very well casted. It's a damn shame that Kinka Usher went back to commercials because he had a future in features. This is a smart movie, well paced. It looks great. The battles, it's mixed of CGI and practicals. You can definitely tell where the models are at. You can definitely see where they're at, but they're still fun. It's still, you're still into the story. You're not going to really notice that unless you're a nitpicker or if you've seen it 50 times like I have. But yeah, I enjoyed the Mystery Men quite a bit. I thought it's definitely one of my favorites, and it never got another chance. Never got another chance on any medium. And that's sort of a shame because it's very, even though it didn't do that well at the box office, it became a massive cult hit afterwards. People loved this movie. This is a movie that you would see a ton out in the wild. People bought it, maybe they grew out of it or what have you, but man, it seemed like this movie was everywhere I was when I was going thrift shopping for a while. So there was a lot of people that did like it at one time or another, and of course it also helped that it was on cable TV all the time as well. But all right, well, that is it for this edition of Dollar Theater. I think this is a keeper, especially if you're into superhero movies like I am. This is a movie that you got to get. I mean, it sits there by itself because there's nothing else around it. But it's a very fun movie to have, and if you're looking for a light moment without saving the universe, then you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong with Mystery Men. Total hoot, great cast. Yep, that's it. I don't know what we're doing next week. Oh yes, I do. Oh yeah, I do know. We're going to be looking at a music documentary, a concert film. With Waylon Jennings. That's right, the balladeer from the Dukes of Hazzard, the country outlaw himself, Waylon Jennings. We'll be covering that concert from Austin, Texas, next week on Dollar Theater. Pretty exciting stuff. Stay tuned for it. We'll talk to you soon. Peace. Oh, yes, all the razzmatazz, too. If you're new to the channel, hit the sub button. Drop that down in the comment. Let me know what you think of Mystery Men. Hopefully there will be some comments about this movie, because I think this is a popular movie that we all have seen it. So drop a comment, hit the like button, and share us out. Talk to you soon. Peace.